Hi, I'm Shane and we're live at Haynes in Mason on Saturday where we're going to be unveiling and launching the all-new Kuga. With me today I've got Alex. Alex, what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be going through the ST line and some of its connectivity features.
Fantastic. We've got Harry.
Hello, I'll be talking you through the titanium model and some of its game-changing accessibility features.
And we've got Matthew with us as well. Matthew, what are you going to be covering?
I will be talking about the plug-in hybrid and mild hybrid, so the different engine choices that are available in the Kuga.
Fantastic. We've got Max on the camera. Give us a thumbs up, Max. We're going to be observing obviously the social distancing guidelines throughout the broadcast. Max, our cameraman, is in full PPE, and in the office we've actually got the IT geeks there that are going to be covering the feed and answering any questions you've got. As we go along, if you do get any questions, put them in the comments below and we'll be able to answer them during the broadcast. We'll pass you over to Harry now, who's going to talk you through the titanium.
Hello, thank you for joining us this Saturday. As Shane just said, my name's Harry and I'll be taking you through the titanium derivative. So the Kuga, it's an old car, it's been around since 2008. It was launched in this country. It's a lovely car, it got a reputation as a peppy little number, good fun to drive and good practicality. The 2020 edition is exactly the same. It's a brilliant drive and as previously mentioned, it has some game-changing accessibility features. I would like to talk you around the outside of the car to begin with, so Max, if you don't mind following me around. We'll start off with the alloys. You get the 18-inch machine-finished alloys as standard on this titanium derivative. And again, if we follow the car around, you can see that you've got the contrasting wheel arches and the underskirt. And then as well, Max, if you don't mind just getting an angle down the side of the vehicular for me, please, sir. We will see its rugged SUV capability and styling. Moving round, so again, we've got various derivatives, like with the previous Kuga. We've got the Z-Tech, which is the entry-level one, but we're looking at the titanium. If you've just joined us, you will see as well that it's got an entirely chrome grille and surround. And whilst we're at the front, the new Kuga, as standard on the titanium, comes with full LED headlights and daytime running lights. Again, if you don't mind shuffling around with me, please, sir. At the top here, we will see the silver roof rails, again, completely as standard. And just coming round to the rear again, we've got the chrome window surround and twin exhaust. Sorry, Max, if you don't mind getting down there for me. And again, so it's just a brief sort of walk around of the vehicular and the titanium edition, but I hope you would agree that it looks equally at home exploring rolling landscapes or seeking adventure on your city commute. I'd like to pass you back to Shane now.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for the talk there. Harry, we've got a question on the Kuga that we've come up with, which was, is the new Kuga bigger than the old Kuga?
Thank you very much. So again, my name's Harry. Thank you very much for joining us. And it is, yes. So quite simply, it's longer, it's got a wider wheelbase, and it's slightly taller than the previous model. And actually, on that note, sorry, Shane, I don't mind shuffling you back in the social distance accepted manner. If you can just get on the inside there, Max, just get that sort of dashboard control in. So the previous Kuga, as said, it was slightly smaller, but the clever thing with the new 2020 model is that whilst it is slightly wider, all the internal cockpit has been sort of shaved away. So this heavy dashboard component here, we've lost some of the size on that compared to the previous model, making the internal space a lot larger and a lot more sort of, a lot bigger inside than the size outside suggests. And again, I will pass you back over to Shane.
That's great. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for covering the outside of the titanium there. Alex is now going to talk to you about the differences on the exterior of the ST line versus the titanium and go through some of the new technology that's on the car. So I'm going to pass you over to Alex now.
Yes, so the main differences you'll find with the ST line versus the titanium is the sporty colour look. So you can see we've got the dark mesh grille, we've got colour-coded front and rear bumpers, we've got the black roof rails. With the wheels, you've got the red brake calipers on there. Now these do come standard with the 18-inch rock metallic alloys that you can see here. You can upgrade them to the 19-inch black alloys as well. And on the back, you will find they will have the chrome exhaust pipes. Now this particular model has got the full LED quad projector headlamps. So if we come back round to the front, you'll see here these wonderful new headlamp system. which you can get part of the technology pack, which comes with the headlamps and the heads-up display. So what these headlamps basically do, they use camera technology to guide the road and adjust accordingly. They're also glare-free as well. They've got predictive curve light, which basically illuminates the bends in the road they're coming. It's sign-based light technology as well, so it recognises signs such as stop signs or roundabouts, and it can adapt to match the road layout.
Okay, thank you, Alex. That's brilliant. If you're just joining us, my name's Shane and we're at Haynes in Maidstone and we're live today. What we'd like you to do while you're watching is visit our webpage or at the end, haynesford.co/live, to check out our Kuga page there. It's got some information about today and whether you wanted to set up any chats with the team to talk through the cars. We're actually going to be moving on to something that's new from Ford now, which is the cool new electric plug-in Kuga. My colleague Matthew is going to be talking through that and demonstrating how easy it is to plug the car in. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Shane. It is very easy to plug the car in. It comes with two cables, so if I just open the boot, you see inside are the two cables the car comes supplied with. There's a conventional 3-pin cable and a wall box cable. You may need to use the wall box cable depending on where you're plugging it in. Some public stations have the cable supplied, some don't, so the car comes with both. We've got a dummy plug-in box in the showroom. You may find something like this. To plug it in, you just open the cap, and you see you've got a socket inside, attach, and plug it in. So this one's a dummy one, so it's not actually going to charge at the moment, but the cable will lock in. If you try and pull it out, it won't release. If the car were locked, nobody would be able to remove the cable. The keys are on me, so I can press the button down here to release the cable, and that can be removed. So I'll just go and get the 3-pin plug. I can show you how to plug it in. So it comes with a cable which is about 6 meters long. Can't use an extension cable with it, so you have to be able to plug this in within reach at home. I've managed to tangle this up, which is really handy. You can ask you to kind of plug in. That one pops back into there and locks in. I'll step away. Harry can plug in and turn on, and you'll see the socket light up to confirm that it's charging. Have you switched on, Harry?
It is indeed.
There we go. So it's now lit up white around the edges, showing that it's charging. Now gone to blue to show that it's 60% charged and working towards 80 at the moment. So that's the colour coding there. If I remove it then, and go to plug it back in again, if it's not quite plugged all the way, the car will work that out. Well, it has gone in just enough. There we go. If it's not plugged enough, it will go red. There's a warning to the customer, to the driver of the car, there's an issue with it, and we need to disconnect. Connect back in again. It should revert back to be blue. Now, what would happen if I tried to drive off whilst it was plugged in? If we follow back around the other side, if I get down this way and you go that way, Max, try and drive off. Just close the boot before I do so. Start the car. No noise obviously because there's no engine. It comes up with a message on the dashboard. I don't know if Max can get close enough to see that. But it's plugged in and won't let me go. Over to Shane, he'll come back and plug it back in a while.
That's great, thank you, Matthew. We're classed as an essential retailer, as you know now, and there is a possibility that if the government announces it on June the 1st, we may be able to reopen. If that's the case, we've got plans in place to offer unaccompanied test drives on the range of cars, and we're going to be doing all of the safety that's required beforehand. We will be releasing more information on the safety measures that the new car department's taking. But as I said, if we are open and you do want to get test drives booked in, it may be worth inquiring now about that, so that come then we'll be free and available for you. I'm going to pass you over to Alex. We've actually got an offer during the weekend on the Peace of Mind scheme on one of the all-new Kugas, and Alex is going to talk to you about that offer. So over to you, Alex. Thank you.
Yes, So this particular car we've got here is an ST line. It's very similar to the one down the bottom arm, which is going through, minus the panoramic roof. And this one does have the winter pack on it as well, which is the heated seats and heated steering wheel. So it's for this one at the moment you can get for £409 a month with a £409 deposit, and that is part of the peace of mind scheme where you can defer the payments as well. Okay, Shane?
Yeah, thank you. I had a question, Neil. Neil, there's a question to ask on the plug-in. It's actually, does it stay in place? As long as you've got the key on you, you can unplug the actual plug-in. But if there's no key, it won't unplug. Matthew, if you could pass me, is the car plugged in?
It's not now, I can plug it back
So
in
if you
again.
can plug it in and then put the key somewhere and just demonstrate to Neil how that would work. We'll show that to you now, Neil. So if you go around next to see Matthew, Matthew will show.
So that's plugged in. Now, the key's nearby. If I remove the key, slide it out of range, I'm just going to move it further away. That's still too close, the key further away. That should now, still too close. Is it because the car's not locked? It may not remove because it may not work because the car's not locked. The car's still locked, the key out of range before it works. Car's not locked. Press the button. Won't unlock till then because the car's locked.
That's always good, the live demonstration. We're going to go over to Harry now. We're going to cover the exterior of the car. And as you've seen, we've gone through the Opera and some of the plug-in hybrid now. Harry's going to cover the interior of the all-new Kuga Titanium and talk you through a couple of the options that are available in the car. So over to you, Harry.
Hello, thank you very much, Shane. My name's Harry, and if you've just joined us, as Shane mentioned, that earlier on we went through some of the external features of the car. These will be broken up and released slowly throughout our Facebook feed throughout the week, so please stay tuned if you missed any of that. But for the next couple of minutes, I'd like to talk you through some of the internal and accessibility features of the car. Now, if I'll open it up for Max so that he can see it. I'm not going to get inside the car, as I don't want to sort of clutter the camera view too much, but Max, if you don't mind just poking your head inside there and giving a quick tour of the centre console. So, compared to the previous model Kuga, it has been refined inside to give us a fluid design of centre console. So if you can see, it's now one sleek sort of centre unit as opposed to the cluster that used to sort of hang out on the previous model. And again, you've got the partial leather seating, the partial leather steering wheel, sorry, the Sensico leather steering wheel, and the leather gear knob that just adds to make it a sanctuary of comfort. But the main purpose for me over the next couple of minutes is to talk you through, as I said, the accessibility features of the new Kuga. So it is an SUV, and with that in mind, people expect the peppiness of a sports vehicle, but mainly as well, in this day and age, it's about convenience and practicality. So I'd like to show you the Kuga's game-changing boot. Now initially, a boot is a boot, and whilst it's a sizable boot, offering 475 litres of rear space, which is comparable with most of the other sort of competitor models, the game-changing pioneering facet is we have, and again if I can ask Max to shuffle on round to the side, at this point I shall get him, we have fully sliding rear bench seats. So if you can see, I'm just sliding backwards and forwards, and that's right across the whole rear row. Now Max, if you don't mind just popping back around to the back. Sorry Max, you're going to have lost about 7 pounds by the end of this talk. So you can see that has given us an additional, well, you can't see the additional 51 litres, but it's given us an incredible amount of extra boot space, which is tantamount to just over 50 litres. And again, whilst we're on the sort of the practicalities of the boot, so if the 526 litres isn't enough, quite simply, use these two straps, get out these two tabs, and the seats fold down. It's an incredibly simple car to use, it's incredibly practical, and it's got so much more internal space than a lot of its sort of rivals and even the previous model. And it's the convenience features that I think really help sell this model over its competitors and even the previous Kuga model itself. But thank you very much, and I will pass you back over to Shane.
That's great, thank you, Harry. If you're just joining us, I'm Shane and we're live at Haynes in Maidstone. Just want to thank Craig for sharing the stream out to his friends, so we really appreciate that. Aaron, we've got your question and we're going to be answering that at the end of our Q&A session. If you've seen the website already, please visit haynesville.co.uk/live, where we've got some information on the new Kuga, and you can arrange a time to speak to the team via phone, soon, video call. We're going to go back over to Matthew, and Matthew's actually going to be covering the interior of the all-new Kuga, going through some of the fantastic lane keeping aids that are on the car. So over to you, Matthew.
Thank you very much. Max, if I can ask you to carry on heading around to the rear of the passenger side and then look in through the back window, you should be able to see the dashboard as I go through some things in the car. So, let's start this one up. Harry's been through the space and interior size of the Kuga. I'll go through some of the technology that's on the car that wasn't on the previous version as standard. The dashboard's just lighting up, showing me the plug-in is 63% charged, so it tells me on there how much charge I've got. Also shows me down the bottom, I don't know how well you can see, that it's got 20 miles electric range and 324 miles petrol range. So there's no concerns with the plug-in hybrid of running out of electricity. If I've done those 20 miles and run out, it will simply just switch across to run on petrol as well. That range may extend, as well as being able to plug in. It will also regenerative charge, so as you brake, the car will capture any energy that's lost and convert that back into the battery. So some of the things that are available that weren't before, say lane keeping aid, easy switch on the end of the indicator stalk to pop it on and off. With that turned on, displays on the dashboard that is on with a digital version of the road ahead. There's a camera up behind the rear view mirror, so it's not in the driver's way. That will be looking at the road ahead, keeping an eye on whether the driver is within their lane. If you start to drift out to one side or the other, depending on the mode that it's in, it will either vibrate the steering wheel or steer with me to keep me slightly within my lane. And I can change the modes on that on the settings on the touch screen. In the vehicle settings, sorry, no, not the vehicle settings, it's driver assistance. Let's go back again, driver assistance. And there's various different settings that I can change on there, like the lane keeping system. At the moment showing it's in alert and aid, so it will turn the wheel with me to keep me within my lane. Helps reduce insurance by making the car harder to crash. It will be keeping an eye on the background to make sure I don't have an accident. Various other things you can see come up on the touchscreen there. Cruise control is in adaptive mode. So buttons on the steering wheel for that set the cruise control with a speed. The car will then maintain that with the driver's foot off the accelerator pedal. If the camera up here detects that I'm getting too close to a car in front or come up behind a slower moving vehicle, the adaptive element means that it will slow me down, maintain a fixed distance between me and that car ahead, and I can change the distance on the buttons on the steering wheel here. Speed limiter, that's set to manual. That can be linked to the traffic sign recognition. Again, the camera up here will read the speed limit signs at the side of the road, display on the dashboard, and link the speed limiter so the car won't go over the prevailing speed limit. That works better than some sort of sat-nav based systems, that this will pick up any temporary restrictions and adjust on there. So there's lots of different settings on the car on the touchscreen there. Blind spot information system, that's part of this car with the first edition, which includes the driver assistance pack. Blind spot information system has little indicators on the mirrors, radars in the rear corners of the car. If something's in that blind spot, it lights up an orange light to let me know there's something there. Again, reducing the chance of an accident. That's also linked with cross traffic alert. If I were to reverse out of a parking space, it will let me know if something's coming. And as this car is running, if I pop it into reverse, it comes up with the camera image on the screen there, so very, very easy to see what's going on behind. Pop it around into drive. This one also has the front-facing camera with a button there. And I can look at what's going on in front of the car as well. Press it again, it goes to a wide angle, so I've got virtually 180-degree view across in front of the car, so edging out of any tight parking spots with big vehicles on the side, I've got a clear view before I start to move out. I'm going to hand you back across over to Shane again now.
That's great, thank you Matthew, thank you for covering that. We're going to move over to Alex, who's going to cover the sound system on the all-new Kuga. If you're just joining us, we're live at Haynes in Maidstone. I'm Shane and you're with the team. We've covered the PHEV, the petrol plug-in hybrid, the titanium, the ST line. We've got a few questions to come in that we're going to answer at the end. Alex, if you'd like to just demonstrate how the connectivity will work on the car, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, brilliant. First what we'll do though is just go through some of the interior of the car, such as the red and black stitching that you'll find that's different on the titanium. So it's got the part leather, you've got the alloy gear stick and alloy pedals as well, which again gives it that sporty-like feel. Okay, and if I wouldn't mind asking Max to pop around the other side, there's the window open over there for you. I'll shut it in. Now, one nifty thing that this does have is a wireless charging pad, which is hidden down here in the centre console, so it's out the way, it's the right space saver as well, and it will fit even the the biggest smartphones. So if I just demonstrate there, popping that on there like that, you'll see there it comes up wireless charging active. Okay, so you won't need to use your USB cable to charge it. However, there are also 2 USB points in here. You've got a Type A one and also the new Type C as well. Now, as Shane mentioned, this does come with Bang & Olufsen, which is now standard on titanium and above. So if I show you here, I've got a little chat that I can show you. You can have a little play around with the settings on this, so you can play around with the bass, the treble and the mids. If I show you now. Really hear that bass. I'm not sure how much it's going to pick up on your end, but it's really booming in here at the minute, and that's just the bass being halfway. So you can go all the way up, and you can basically just have a little play around, depending what track you're listening to. So here as well, you've got your balance and fade. So in the front, you can have all the music basically just where you are, or you can have it in the back as well, or you can have your own little private party to yourself on this one. Okay, it's best to make the most of the Bang & Olufsen sound system to have it on surround mode, so that will really go around the car rather than in stereo. Okay, and now I'm going to pass you back to Shane.
That's great, thank you, Alex. So we've covered the range of cars that are available. There's going to be many more questions on these cars as the technology on them is so advanced. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go through some of the questions that we've had during the event and some questions that we had come in as well. So just wait for Alex to get in place. Mark, just thank you for your feedback. It's great that you've enjoyed the broadcast. Just obviously want to have a big shout out as well to everyone in the NHS and all the hard work they're doing. It really is appreciated. We're going to move on now to the questions. So Harry, this is one for you. Had a question come in from Bailey as you were doing the accessibility in the car. Does the middle rear seat slide forward on its own in the new Kuga?
Hi Bailey, thank you for joining us. That's a brilliant question. So the middle seat doesn't slide on its own sort of independently. It comes in sort of 2 seats or 2 banks. The bank of 2 seats and a single seat on its own. So you can manoeuvre 2 separate seats, but unfortunately the middle one isn't one of them on its own. And actually, Max, whilst I have you, as a slight amendment to one of my earlier facts, the car itself is not taller. It is shorter than the previous model, but you do get more headroom. Thank you. I can go to sleep easy.
That's great, Harry. Thank you for that. Aaron, you gave us a question earlier was regarding if we have any Vignale models, and my colleague Matthew will answer you regarding the Vignale model in the Kuga.
The short answer to that one is not yet. It is coming. The launch range that we have at the moment is the Titanium, ST Line and ST Line X, all in first editions, but those will be joined by a Z-Tech at the entry version of the range and Vignale at the top, coming fairly soon, I believe.
I've got a question. I'm going to test my team's knowledge on this one because this is open to all of you now. It's come from Darren. Does the ST Line X have memory seats?
No. It has power seats, but it doesn't have a memory seat on the ST Line X. It's a power adjustment for the seat, but it doesn't have memory with it. Is what I'm going to say. But if one of my colleagues wants to correct me, they're more than welcome.
That's great. Matthew, we'll find out soon. I'm sure we'll watch it.
I'm sure someone tells us to go wrong.
A few questions coming in. This is for Alex. Is there going to be a full hybrid Kuga? And what is a full hybrid Kuga?
Yes, so there is going to be a full hybrid Kuga, hopefully by the end of this year, which will mean you will not have to plug it in. It will be using regenerative braking, much like the Mondeo hybrid that we've got currently. So yes, you won't need to plug it in, it will just be regenerative braking and run off electricity that way.
Brilliant. Some more electric related questions, as this is the hot topic at the moment. Matthew, can you use an extension plug on the PHEV cable?
No. Another short answer. You can't. You may have noticed the cable that comes with the car is a very thick cable. It's much thicker than a standard cable because it's designed to take a higher load. If you plug in a standard cable, much thinner, it can't cope. So you do have to just use the forward supply cable. But I believe it is possible. There are suppliers who will supply longer leads without needing an extension cable.
We're going to keep Matthew in the spotlight for a couple more questions as they are electric related. I need to know where I can charge my PHEV, Matthew.
There are lots of ways of finding that out, Shane. The car sat-nav will do it. You can just press the voice button, say, I need fuel, and it will give you a choice on the sat-nav. It will ask you whether you want petrol, diesel, electric, so you can just get the car to do it whilst you're on the move. You can do it on the touchscreen, obviously, but on the move it's easy to do it by voice. Your Forward Pass app, when you have that connected with your car, that will show you where electric charging stations are. There are also various other apps available you can download that will give you locations and rates. Obviously, charging from home is part of your domestic electric bill. If you do plug it in somewhere else, you do need to pay for your electric. It's not free, it's just the same as filling up the petrol. You'll have to pay for it elsewhere.
That's great, thank you, Matthew. I'll answer the question that's coming from Matt, so thank you for the question. What is the max range on the PHEV? It does depend on your style of driving. It can be anywhere from sort of 21 to 35 miles on the PHEV. When you run out of charge though, the petrol engine will kick in and then it will do regenerative charging through braking and give you a little bit more power back, so you don't have to worry about actually the battery running out. We'll pass over to Harry for a question. Harry, is the new Kuga available on the Motability scheme? That's your question.
That's a very good question for the non-Motability specialist. I believe it is, in so much as with the advance payments, it is available on said Motability scheme. I believe it's about £1,200.
I'll jump in on that one.
Yes, please. Yeah, because Motability
As a
is much
Motability
more
specialist, as well as one of the electric vehicle specialists, the Motability scheme is currently closed to new applications because of the government restrictions on customers coming to the showroom. Motability have had to close the scheme to any new applications. Previously, the new Kuga was added in about mid-February, late March time to the scheme. So yes, it should be on the scheme once the scheme reopens. So we don't have current pricing because there is no price list while the scheme is suspended with the government restrictions in place.
That's great.
Yes,
thank
but
you. Question for Alex: is the car available in blue?
What a lovely question. Well, it is important to some people, colour. It is, yes. It's available in the solid colour blazer blue, which is a dark blue. We've got chrome blue as well, which you might see on our other models, which is like a silvery kind of blue. And then exclusive to the Vignale when it comes out, it'll be in blue Panther as well.
And final question before we end the event today is: how long does it take to charge the electric plug-in Kuga? Matthew, Harry, Alex, any ideas?
We should know this really, shouldn't we? Yes, to plug it in and charge it, if you're plugging in on the 3-pin socket, it's about 6 hours for a full charge. If you're using a wall box at home, that's about 3.5. But if you're on a much higher voltage public charging station, it can be reduced down to about 30 minutes or so for the charge. So it varies depending on what type of lead and where you've got it plugged in.
That's great. Well, thank you for joining us as our Kuga launch event here at Haynes in Maidstone. We're going to be doing a watch party on Tuesday covering all the questions that we've had throughout the event, so please tune in for that. And for now, stay home, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.